Today is a very auspicious day, Disappearance Day of Govinda, Ghosh, Thakur, and auspicious arrival of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Varaha, Nagar. Our Gurudev wrote biography Ghosh brothers. The Ghosh brothers. Kalavati Rasolasa Gunatunga Brajestita Shri Vishaka Kritam Gitam Gayanti Smadhya Tumata Govinda Madhavananda Vasudeva Yatakrama. Shri Govinda, Madhavananda and Vasudeva were gopis in Braja, namely Kalavati, Rasolasa and Gunatunga, who used to sing the songs composed by Vishaka. This is from Gaur Ganadesh Dipika. These three Ghosh brothers were born in an upper class Kayasta family from northern Rara. They hailed from Agradip. All three were singers famed for the sweetness of their voices. The meritorious Madhava Ghosh devoted himself to Kirtan. There was no singer on earth who was his equal. It was said of him that he was a singer from Vrindavan. He was most dear to Nityananda Prabhu. The three brothers, Govinda, Madhava, and Vasudeva, sang while Lord Nityananda Prabhu danced. This is from Chaitanya Bhagavat. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu danced to the kirtan of the three brothers, Govinda, Madhava, and Vasudeva. Chaitanya Charitamrita. When Nityananda Prabhu returned from Puri to preach in Bengal, he was accompanied by Vasudeva and Madhava Ghosh, while Govinda remained with Mahaprabhu and thus felt great satisfaction. That is from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Govinda Ghosh is counted amongst Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's personal branches. Eventually he made his home in Agradip, Vasudeva in Tamluk, and Madhava Ghosh in Dain Hat. Govinda Ghosh Thakur's house is not far from Agradip in Kashipur Vishnutala. Some are of the opinion that Vishnutala was his birthplace. Govinda Ghosh participated in Mahaprabhu's Lilas in Srivas Angan, in the Nagar Sankirtan to the Kaji's house, and in the house of Raghava Pandit. During the Ratha Yatra festival, he was the lead singer in the fourth Kirtan group, accompanied by his two brothers, by Choto Haridas, Vishnu Das, and Raghava Pandit. Bakreshwar Pandit joined this group as the principal dancer. They are not ordinary persons. Gopis from Vrindavan, person associate now of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. On Mahaprabhu's direction, Govinda revealed the Gopinath deity from a black stone in Agradip. Mahaprabhu also instructed him to get married. You see, sometimes this happens. That Mahaprabhu directly orders, so that they will be exemplary, to show to the people how ideal married life should be. Both are, or all family members, they are cooperating for the service of Krishna. There is a legend that Govinda Ghosh's wife and son both died untimely, means soon. As he grew older, Govinda began to wonder who would perform his last rites, as it is considered important to have a son who can do the Shraddha ceremony on one's behalf. Putra, that is why it is called Putra. Putra means one who will deliver you from hell by doing Shraddha ceremony to absolve you from any sins. They will offer Krishna's prasad. That is Vaishnavas they are doing with Krishna's prasad. Otherwise that general Shraddha is with, they are worshipping demigods, but still that pinda is offered, as we will hear, to rescue the fathers, mothers from any sinful reaction. That is. So he was wondering who will do this. He's a liberated soul, but he's doing lila as a householder to be example for others. So he was wondering who will now do Shraddha, how I can be rescued. Govinda had a dream in which Gopinath, means his deity, appeared to him and said, "Don't worry about this, I will perform Shraddha ceremony for you myself." We have to be careful with this word. One is Shraddha with A, first A, long one, and similar word is Shraddha, when last A is long. So they are totally different meaning. You can see written like same if you are not careful, but where that line above A is, that makes a difference. One is Shraddha or Shraddha, and one is Shraddha. That is faith. When Govinda Ghosh left this world, Gopinath, means deity, was true to his word and offered his pinda, that is that food, to ancestors. Gopinath continues to perform this ceremony every year on the anniversary of Govinda Ghosh's departure from the world, means today, that lila is made, to show. This takes place on the waning moon, Krishna Dvadashi, of the month of Chaitra. Vasudev Ghosh Disappearance Day is on the second day of the waxing moon, Shukla Dvitiya, in the month of Kartik. Now this is appearance, I think mistake here, because today is, oh no, sorry, it is Vasudev Ghosh Disappearance is that time. Govinda Ghosh is today, but Vasudev Ghosh Disappearance in the second day of the waxing moon Shukla Dvitiya in the month of Kartik. That is also my birthday according to Titi, on this day, Vasudev Ghosh Thakur's. So yesterday we also heard, no, before yesterday, that Gauranga Mahaprabhu said to Srivas, "You don't worry, I and Nityananda will be your sons now. We are eternal, we will never leave you." Here also we see Gopinath said, "I will be your son. I will offer Shraddha ceremony for you." So one will not lose anything by having a relation with Krishna. He will gain everything. Two songs written by Govinda Ghosh. Praner Mukunda he ki aji shunilu achambito. Kohite paran jai mukhe nahi bahiraye. Shri Gauranga charibe navadip. Iha to na jani mora sakale mililun gora. Avanata mate ache bosi. Nijare nayana jhore বুক বহি ধারা পরে, মলিন হইয়াছে মুখ শাসি। দেখিতে তখন প্রাণ সদা করে আন চান, সুদাইতে নাহি অবসার। কনকে সম্বিত হইল তবে মুই নিবেদিল, শুনিয়া দিলেন এও তার। আমি তো বিবাস হইয়া তারে কিছু না কহিয়া, ধাইয়া আইলুন তুয়া পাশ। এই তো কহিলুন আমি যে করিতে পারো তুমি, মোর নাহি জীবনের আশ। শুনিয়া মুকুন্দ কান্দে, হিয়া তীর নাহি বান্ধে, গদাধরের বাঁধনা হেরিয়া। এ গোবিন্দ ঘোষ কয়, ইহা যেন নাহি হয়, তবে মুই যাইনু মরিয়া। Gadadhar, translation, Gadadhar says, O Mukunda, my life, did I really hear what I think I heard today? If I say it, I will die. The words do not want to come out of my mouth. Gauranga is really going to leave Navadip. I had no idea, but when I saw Gaura this morning, he was sitting with his head bowed in thought. Streams of tears flowed from his eyes and washed over his chest. His moon-like face had lost its luster. When I saw him like that, my own heart fluttered and I could not ask him anything. For a moment, I regained consciousness and humbly asked him the question, and that is what he told me, that he will leave Navadip, means he will take sannyas. I was so disturbed that I ran here to you right away without saying anything further to him. I have told you this, and now do what you can. I don't think that I have any hope of continuing to live. When he heard this news, Mukunda started to cry. He could no longer keep his composure when he looked at Gadadhar. Govinda Ghosh says, let it not be, for if he lives, I will die. I spoke some days back that those who are Navadip devotees, that is like Vrindavan. They are doing kirtan in Srivasa's house and other houses. That is like Vrindavan. Like Krishna is in Vrindavan. But when Krishna wants to go out to Mathura and then to Dwaraka to solve the political problems, Brajavasis, they don't like, they feel separation from him. Like that, when Mahaprabhu decides that for the public good, he has to take sannyas, Navadip devotees, they don't like this. Hedere Nodia Basi, this is another song. Hedere Nodia Basi Kar Mukko Chao, Bahu Posaria Gora Chande Pirao, To Savare ke ar koribe nijo kore, Ke Jachia Dive Prem Dekia Katore, Ki Shel Hiai Hai, Ki Shel Hiai, Paran Putali Navadip Chari Jai, Arna Jaibo Mora Gaurangero Pash, Arna Koribo Mor Kirtana Bilas, Kandaye Bhakatagon, Book Bidaria, Pashana Govinda Ghosh na jai milia. O people of Navadip, who are you staring at? Spread your arms to stop Gaurachandra. Like gopis, they try their best to stop that Akrura's chariot to take out Krishna. They said your name is Akrura, means one who is not cruel, but we think you are very cruel. So gopis, they try to prevent, and some even fell down under the, means they lay down on the ground, and chariot drove over them. They were not killed, but they did this to stop Akrura from taking Krishna out of Vrindavan. So here also, spread your arms to stop Gaurachandra and make him come back. Who is there now who will clasp you to his chest? Who will come and beg you to take love of Krishna? I have been stabbed in the heart. I have been stabbed in the heart. Here you see, Chaitanya, we are worshipping Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he is requesting us, who will come and beg you to take love of Krishna? I have been stabbed in the heart. The beloved of my life has abandoned Navadip and gone. No longer will we be able to go and sit with Gauranga. No longer will we be able to enjoy Kirtan the way we did. All the devotees are crying, their hearts are bursting, and like a stone, Govinda Ghosh does not go to join them. This is again expression of humbleness. So today is Govinda Ghosh Thakur's disappearance day. He is personal associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not ordinary person. By his grace, everything is possible. So I am bowing down to Govinda Ghosh and pray for his causeless mercy. Today is also auspicious arrival of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Varaha Nagar. That is like near Calcutta, one suburb. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was going towards Puri, he went there. So this Lila is narrated in Chaitanya Bhagavat. I'm opening. It is in Chaitanya Bhagavat Antya Khanda, 5th chapter. Tobe Prabhu aileno Varaha Nagare, Mahabhagyavanta ek Brahmanero Ghore, Sebi Praborosh Sushikito Bhagavate, Prabhu dekhi Bhagavat lagila porite, Shunyatahan Bhakti Joger Pothon, Abhishta Hoila Gaura Chandra Narayan. The Lord then came to the home of an extremely fortunate Brahman in Varaha Nagar. The Brahman was highly learned in SRIMAD Bhagavatam, and upon seeing the Lord, he began to recite the text. Hearing his devout recitation, Lord Gaurachandra became ecstatic. So here they translate it as devout recitation. That is, of course, there. Another translation also can be Shunya Tahan Bhakti Jogar Pot. Means what he was reciting about Bhakti Yoga, which is described in Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is only about Bhakti, pure devotion. So when he heard this, then Mahaprabhu became ecstatic. Bol bol bole Prabhu Shri Gaurangarai, Hunkar Garjan Prabhu ko roye sadai, Seibi prapore para nande magna hoya, Prabhu okoren ritya bhajya pasaria, Bhaktir mohima shlok shunite shunite, Punah punah achara, Poren pritibite. Yes, now it will come, this meaning also. The Lord loudly and repeatedly roared, read on, read on. As the Brahman read, immersed in divine ecstasy, the Lord danced and lost external awareness. You see, Mahaprabhu was hearing Srimad Bhagavatam and he was dancing when hearing, so much ecstasy. As the Lord heard verses glorifying devotion, he tumbled to the earth again and again. Here you will see, Bhaktir Mohima Shlo Shunite Shunite. As above, Shunya Tahan Bhakti Joger Pothon. Yes. As the Lord heard verses glorifying devotion, he tumbled to the earth again and again. Only by hearing Bhagavatam, this ecstatical symptom also, he fell to the ground. Heno se koreno Prabhu premer prokash, achara dekite sarva loke paitras, ei moto ratri tin prohar obadi, Bhagavat shunya na chila gunonidi, bajya pai bosileno Shri Sachinandan, santoshet vijere kori leno alingon. The Lord manifests such divine love. The sight of his tumbling frightened everyone. The Lord, the ocean of qualities, listened to the Bhagavatam and danced in this way for 9 hours of the night. See, 9 hours hearing Bhagavatam and dancing in the night. Eventually, he regained external awareness and embraced that Brahman with satisfaction. When there is nowadays that Bhagavat Saptaha, it is about like 4 hours Bhagavat in the morning and 4 hours in the evening. So Mahaprabhu together 9 hours was hearing and dancing in the night. Prabhu bole Bhagavat moto porite, kobu nahi shuni ar kaharo mukete, eteke tomar nam Bhagavat acharjo, iha bina ar kon na koriho karjo, vipra proti prabhur padavi jogya shuni, sobe korile no maha hori hori dvani. The Lord said, I have never heard such a recitation of the Bhagavat from anyone. Your name is therefore Bhagavat Acharya. Do not perform any duty other than this. Similarly, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Mahaprabhu told him, he ordered different Goswamis to do different work of spreading his teaching, Rup something, Sanatan something. So Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, it was his duty to chant Harinam and to read Bhagavatam. That was his only duty. He used to read in Vrindavan to Rup Sanatan and other devotees Bhagavatam, and he knew at least 4 different tunes for each verse, how it can be recited, and his voice was very sweet. So in this way he was serving Mahaprabhu. He did not write any book, did not open any temple, but he's one of the 6 Goswamis. His seva was given by Mahaprabhu as this, so he did. So we have to judge by seva one is doing according to the wish of Krishna. It is not same for all. So we cannot judge like Gorkishore Das Babaji Maharaj. He had only one disciple. Oh, useless. We may think. He did not open any temple, so he's useless. That is totally wrong conception. He is fully satisfying Krishna, full devotee of Krishna, and he's doing what Krishna wants, how he wants him to serve. Like here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him, your duty is this. You have to recite Bhagavatam. That is your only duty. Don't do anything else. Hearing the Lord's befitting title for the Brahman, everyone cheered, Hari Hari. এই মতো প্রতি গ্রামে গ্রামে গঙ্গা তীরে রহিয়া রহিয়া প্রভু ভক্তের মন্দিরে সবার করিয়া মানরাত পূর্ণা কাম পুনঃ আইলেন প্রভু নীলাচলা ধাম গৌরা দেশে পুনর্বার প্রভুর বিহার ইহা যে শুনয় তার দুঃখ নহে আর The Lord visited the houses of devotees in all the villages along the bank of the Ganges in this way. The Lord fulfilled all the devotees' desires and then returned to Nilachal. Anyone who hears about the Lord's pastimes during his return to Bengal will never suffer again. Iha je shune tar dukho nahe ar. He will not have any suffering anymore if one will hear with devotion this Lila of Mahaprabhu. Because Mahaprabhu's Lila is transcendental, so by devotion, if with devotion one hears, that is satisfying him. That is one kind of devotion, Shravan, Kirtan, Smaran. Parikit Maharaj got only by Shravan, perfection. So if we can serve Krishna, then there is no more suffering. Commentary on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur cites from the above verses and adds, Nirmita Pushtika Jeno Krishna Prema Tarangini SRIMAD Bhagavat Acharjo Gauranga Tyanta Vallabha. This is from Gaur Ganadesh Dipika. Bhagavat Acharya wrote a book entitled Krishna Prema Tarangini and was extremely dear to Sri Gauranga. Bhagavat Acharya's name was Sri Raghunath Pandit. His ashram was in the Mali neighborhood of Varaha Nagar, about 3 miles north of Kolkata on the bank of Ganges. Prema Tarangini was the first full translation of Srimad Bhagavatam into Bengali verse. He did it. Sri Raghunath Bhagavat Acharya composed this after receiving the blessings of Sriman Mahaprabhu during his visit to Varaha Nagar. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur desired to publish this text, but was unable to find a legible, authentic copy of it after publicly requesting one in Sri Sajjan Toshani. It has since been published in numerous editions by the followers of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. I think in Bagbazar Gauriamat they published this. I saw, I got for Janmashtami those first 3 chapters of Bhagavatam which we have to read in Bengali, this verse translation by this Bhagavat Acharya. I think they published full one. Is an excerpt from an article about Sri Bhagavat Acharya by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur published in 1898 in volume 9, issue 12 of Sri Sajjan Toshani. That was magazine published by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. When the associates of Krishna and Gaura are examined, it is understood that Sri Radhika's Sakhi Shyam Manjari appear in the pastimes of Sri Gaura as Sri Bhagavat Acharya. You see, he is also one Gopi of Vrindavan, like Govinda Ghosh Thakur. In the pastimes of Krishna, Sri Shyama Manjari sings songs about Krishna, songs about the pastimes of Shyam for Sri Radha and Krishna. So same, like Govinda Ghosh, he's singer in Vrindavan, singing songs composed by Vishaka for the satisfaction of Radha Krishna, and this Shyama Manjari also sings for Radha Krishna songs. As Sri Bhagavatacharya in the pastimes of Sri Gaura, he performed his service by reciting Srimad Bhagavatam for Sri Gauranga. Sri Radha gave him this service in Sri Krishna's pastimes. In the pastimes of Gaura, Sri Gadadhar Pandit Goswami took him into his line, means he accepted him as a disciple, and gave him suitable service to Sri Gauranga. The special characteristic of Sri Bhagavatacharya's service is that when Sri Gauranga came with his associates to his kunja in Varaha Nagar, he began to perform his eternal service of reciting Srimad Bhagavatam instead of washing the Lord's feet, offering the Lord water to drink, and performing the other customary services of a host. Saki's only duty is the service given by Sri Radha. This principle is shown by this pastime. So again, they are doing what is their seva. It is individual. It is not same for all. Like we see, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told to Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. He said, when he was in Puri, you visited me, but now you should go home because your parents, they are devotees. You go there and you serve them till the end of their life, but don't get married. After they will leave this world, then you come here. And Raghunath Bhatta Goswami did. Then Mahaprabhu sent him to Vrindavan. But here we see, to Govinda Ghosh, he ordered, you have to get married. So now one may think, now we are confused. What is now the teaching of Mahaprabhu? The point is, it is same thing. What is for the service of Krishna that they are doing? That is same thing. But how Krishna wants for everyone to serve him, he knows, and Gurudev knows. So Guru will engage accordingly so that Krishna will be satisfied. So I am bowing down to Bhagavatacharya Prabhu and praying his causeless mercy. It is not appearance or disappearance day to day, but this lila happened on today's day that Mahaprabhu gave him this title, Bhagavatacharya. So in this praying for his blessing of Bhagavatacharya, by his grace, let us continue with our Bhagavatam hearing. Last time we heard that Parikshit Maharaj came to the house of Shamik after hunting and was very thirsty, and he came there, but Shamik Rishi was in Samadhi. He was not aware of anything external, so he did not notice him. And Parikshit Maharaj became disturbed. Why he is not receiving me properly? And he became angry and put a dead snake around his neck. as an insult. But as we heard, it was designed by Krishna like this, so that he will take Parikshit Maharaj quickly back to him and to manifest Bhagavatam. And then we also heard that Shringi, the son of Shamik Muni, he cursed. Whoever did this, I curse him, he will die by snake bite after 7 days. And I told that Brahmins, they can curse and it will happen. So I told that recently I read, so I searched that and I found, I want to read you one instance only in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, that is Shruti, that is directly heard from Supreme Lord. There are some rituals here described for Brahmins. So one is also, if the husband, Brahmin, if the husband wishes to injure the lover of his wife, some Brahmin is married, but there is some other man he wants to, or he was with his wife. So if the husband wishes to injure the lover of his wife, the husband should place fire in an unbaked clay pot and strew reeds and kusha grass in reverse way. He should perform oblations with reversed reeds soaked in ghee. And then he will say, you, means that lover, you have offered oblations into my fire. Means you were with my wife. You have offered oblations into my fire. I take away your prana and apana. There are 5 airs, and one is chief prana, and then it manifests in 5, apana, udana, and those things. Some for digestion, some for this. So I take away your prana and apana. You have offered oblations into my fire. I take away your sons and animals. That means cows. Brahmins used to keep cows for making ghee. You have offered oblations into my fire. I take away your Vedic, that is Shrota, and Smriti rites. You have offered oblations into my fire. I take away your hopes and aspirations. The person who is cursed by the person in knowledge, means realized Brahmin, one who has knowledge, Brahma Vidya, Brahma Gyan. The person who is cursed by the person in knowledge departs from this world, devoid of virility and sukriti, means he will die. If the realized Brahmin will do this as a punishment because that person did this illicit sex connection, then he will depart from this world. Therefore, one should never approach the wife of a Brahmana who has this knowledge. That person in knowledge becomes one's enemy. So we should be very careful with it is in scriptures many examples of this cursing. So we have to be careful with Brahmins and also with Vaishnavas. They also, whole Yadu dynasty was destroyed by the curse of those Brahmins. And other examples also there. So that Devala Rishi cursed. And if you read the Puranic Charitavali, it is full of cursing. There's so many there. So we have to be careful. So Shamik Muni, when he heard that his boy is crying, then he came out from Samadhi and he asked him, he threw the dead snake aside, means Shamik Muni, from his neck, and asked his son why he was crying, whether anyone had done him harm. On hearing this, the son explained to him what had happened. I don't know if I read this Sanskrit verse or not, so I will read again. Visrijyatam cha pracha vatsa kasma dhirodishi kena vate pakritam iti uktaksa nyavedayat. Nishamya shaptam atat arham narendram sabrahmano natmajam abhyanandat. Aho batamho mahat adyate kritam alpi ase droha urur damodrita. The father heard from his son that the king had been cursed. Although he should never have been condemned, for he was the best amongst all human beings. The rishi did not congratulate his son, but on the contrary began to repent, saying, "Alas, what a great sinful act was performed by my son. He has awarded heavy punishment for an insignificant offense." But as you will come to know, this son also was doing according to the wish of Krishna for that plan. Navai nribhir naradevam parakhyam samatum arhasi avipakva buddhe yat tejasa durvishahena gupta vindanti badrane akuto bhayah praja. O my boy, your intelligence is immature, and therefore you have no knowledge that the king, who is the best amongst human beings, is as good as the personality of Godhead. He is never to be placed on an equal footing with common men. The citizens of the state live in prosperity, being protected by his unsurpassable prowess. Alakshyamane Nara Deva Namni Rathanga Pano Ayam Angaloka Tadahi Chaura Prachuro Vinakshyati Ara Kshamano Vivaruthavat Kshanat. My dear boy, the Lord who carries the wheel of a chariot is represented by the monarchical regime. And when this regime is abolished, the whole world becomes filled with thieves, who then at once vanquish the unprotected subjects like scattered lambs. This is when it is proper monarchy, proper kshatriya. Then that is representing Supreme Lord. But if that is disturbed, then thieves all demoniac things will gather their power. But it can also happen that the regime itself becomes demoniac. It can happen. So that regime is not a representative of Supreme Lord. they are not doing good for the citizens. Tat adyanah papam upaiti ananvayam yan nashta natasya vasur vilumpakat parasparam gnati shapanti vrinjate pashun striyorthan puru dasyavo jana. Due to the termination of the monarchical regimes and the plundering of the people's wealth by rogues and thieves, there will be a great social disruptions. People will be killed and injured, and animals and women will be stolen. And for all these sins, we shall be responsible. In Kali Yuga, these regimes also, they become rogues and thieves. Tadarya dharma praviliyat nrinam varna ashram achara yutas traimaya tatortha kama bhiniveshitatmanam shunam kapinam eva varna sankara. At that time, the people in general will fall systematically from the path of progressive civilization in respect to the qualitative engagements of the castes and the orders of society and the Vedic injunctions. That will be lost. Thus, they will be more attracted to economic development for sense gratification, and as a result, there will be an unwanted population on the level of dogs and monkeys. So further, we will hear tomorrow what he saw it will happen in future in Kali Yuga, and if there is no, what happens if there is no proper kshatriya, what happens. So